Yo, what's up, guys? It's Kyle from Level Sports here, and today's video is going to be about Johnny Manziel going back to Texas A&M and about Matt Shoemaker, who was hit in the head by a line drive coming back at him at 105 miles an hour. Okay, so to start off today's episode, Johnny Manziel's going back to Texas A&M, and they have him listed as a senior, and they can't really go into any details due to student privacy laws, but I believe this is the first step for Johnny Manziel to get his life back on track. I don't know if we're ever going to see him back in the NFL again, because maybe he just doesn't have the talent to play in the NFL. In my opinion, Johnny should have stayed, graduated, and then entered the draft, because he's only 23, so he's got his whole life ahead of him. He'd basically be 1 year removed from college, which I'm sure would have done wonders for him. But that's not just what happened for him, and I really hope he does good. Obviously, he can't play for A&M again, which is bad for A&M, but, I'm sure they'd want to forget what Johnny Manziel did there outside of the football field for them. He was an amazing athlete, heck of a quarterback who just got involved in too much crap off the field, drugs, and all that crap, so... Okay, so on Sunday, it was the Angels-Mariners game. Shoemaker on the mound, and he throws a pitch. Kyle Seager hits a line drive that exited the bat, according to StatCast, at 105 miles an hour, and it drills him just on the right side of his head. So he's obviously late Sunday night, he went into Seattle in the hospital, had emergency brain surgery to stop the bleeding after he'd been hit in the head. It was performed by Dr. Emmanuel Ferreira, and he was pleased that Shoemaker was talking, which I'm sure is incredible. In case you guys didn't know, there's only been one other instance in the major leagues where someone has been killed by being hit in the head by a pitch, and that was back in the 1910s. Someone was hit in the head by a pitch, and they died because they didn't wear batting helmets back then. After examination at the ballpark, he showed he was responsive, so he was transported to Harborview Medical Center, and the initial CT scan showed he suffered a small skull fracture and a head hematoma. Periodically, doctors administered additional scans, and around 9 p.m. Sunday, the third set of scans indicated that the bleeding had not ceased. So, I'm surprised he's alive, but that's obviously a scary situation for him and his family, and just for baseball in general. That's not something that you want to ever happen to anyone, no matter how much you don't like him. So after he was immediately wheeled into surgery, the Angels left him there with the trainer as they headed to go play the athletics. And the trainer will stay there until he's ready to go back to Orange County. And the team hopes that'll be later in the week, Thursday, Friday, maybe Saturday. Wow. Oh, my. I can't fathom being hit in the head by a line drive anyway, let alone be at 105 miles an hour and hit you on the side of the head. And he was conscious. They helped him up, and he just held that towel and ice right to the side of his head. You can see in the picture. They put him on the 15-day disabled list, which is a formality. His season's over. The owner thinks he should be fit to pitch in 2017. I hope he is. As far as I know, another neurosurgeon said that it would be a reasonable possibility to think he'll be ready to start pitching by spring training, but it's not a guarantee. It's obvious that he would have sustained a concussion during the incident, so they will treat him as such along the guidelines of concussion, even though it was much worse than that. So the 6-month timeline to return would be standard, and it's important to recognize the concussion because I still can't even fathom. That's one of those things where you hear about it and it's just, you feel it even though it didn't happen to you, and just I really hope that never happens again. It's just unfortunate. I mean, how do you move out of the way of a ball that's coming 105 miles an hour? let alone get a glove up in time to catch it. And that's just impossible when you're 60 feet away. So, obviously, praise out to Matt Shoemaker. Alright, guys, that'll do it for today's video. Like, subscribe if you're new, share it with your friends. Comment down below what you think about Johnny Manziel going back to A&M and any suggestions that you'd have for me to make a video over. Until then, see you guys in the next one.